Hello and welcome back with me, Admiral, joining me back on Star Trek Fleet Command as always. So thank you to all the new subscribers. Don't forget to keep hitting that button and getting us to 1,000 subscribers. But today's episode, what we're going to focus on is the transporter patterns themselves. There has been a few changes. I completely get that this is nothing new. This is something that's been out now for a couple of weeks, certainly. So I'm going to reflect on the new characters that they've added to the transporter patterns and the new layout of the officer stuff as well. And then, we're going to talk about a little bit about them because there is some good features about them like that. If you don't have transporter patterns, then still stay tuned because we will be talking about the Ultra Recruit Pack as well. And obviously everyone has access to that. So still stay tuned for when we get onto that section. But the transporter patterns themselves is something that's changed. So if you have access to them, which is obviously you have to have completed any rare officer completely fully maxed out, and then you get access to them. And then every time you get a shard for that said officer that you've maxed out, you will then unlock basically transporter patterns, which then you can then use, and then they can be used now for all of these different officers, which are, as you can see here. So the free ones that they've added, it has changed, like I just said. The free that they've added is now Mud, obviously Eredice, I think that's how you say it, and then obviously Harry Mudd himself. So they've added these three to the actual transporter patterns as well, because obviously a lot of players probably don't have these free officers. If they do, they'll be certainly very low ranking, unless you, like I say, at the time of the events when they were bringing out the Mud events, unless you bought obviously their shards and stuff like that from the store, then you probably don't have these officers of a very high level. So they've added these three. With regards to the order in which you should do these, if you don't have these maxed out, it's completely up to you and it depends on your playstyle. Me personally, for example, I'm trying to get my Christopher Pike maxed out first. So he's still got a fair ways to go, but I'm trying to get him maxed out first just because I use him obviously predominantly for hostile hunting, and that's personally what I do the most. So I'm going to try and get him maxed out as quick as possible in that regard, because like I say, I utilize him more than any other officer in this entire lineup. However, the other officers that I would definitely recommend, I'm not saying go for them first or a certain order, but the other ones I would definitely recommend is obviously Khan. It allows you to speed him up if you can get access to a lot of obviously stuff. It allows you to speed his grind up instead of going in the augment store, instead of having to do all the mining for to get the nano probes, the data and stuff like that. It allows you to speed him up quite significantly. So this is a very, very good one to go for. And obviously, as everyone knows, Khan is a very, very good officer as well. In terms of the others, obviously Nero, Gorkon and Kirk. These are all your standard officers, which again are all pretty decent within their own right. Obviously, they offer morale, hull breach, or burning. Most people are veering away from Nero now because they're using Giorgio and stuff like that, and Lorca for Gorkon and stuff. But they're still useful, especially if you don't have the other types of officers like the Giorgio and stuff like that, or Lorca or something. These officers are still really useful, and they still get you them abilities. Kirk's very good, obviously, for the morale setup. In terms of the three new officers, the best one out of these three, personally, I think, is Eredice. Her abilities go really, really well with Kirk and Spock because she gets a shield ability, essentially. I don't know if it might... Yeah, it appears here. So her abilities are her secondary abilities, which is really what you want when using her. The secondary ability is obviously that's a standard one, so 35% chance to heal 5% of shields when they're depleted. And then the good thing about her is that if you do put her in the officer slot, which is highly recommended when she is paired with Kirk and Spock, is because 10% of damage when taking shield hit point damage. So obviously if you can have as high a shield as possible, that's obviously really beneficial, and you obviously get a chance to recover your shields as well. And obviously if you pair them with Kirk and Spock, then Spock obviously constantly tries to regen the shields, which means her captain's ability certainly will last longer, and it is cumulative, so it will just keep going up your damage. So it's a very good ability to have. Obviously, if you can get her synergized, which is very unlikely with Kirk and Spock, but it's a very good ability to have. The other two, I don't really know huge amount, but she is probably the best one out of all three of them. So yeah, that's the transporter patterns for them. They're the three new officers, and they're not my recommendations, but they're my suggestions when it comes to them. And then obviously in the Ultra Recruit, which is something that everyone has access to. If you go in these now, you can obviously now get Erudite and Mud within this pack. I'm pretty sure there's no new ones outside of them in terms of the epic officers. Obviously, you can get the other types, the other officers within the Mud arc. But other than that, everyone else seems to be virtually the same. There doesn't seem to be anyone new in that regard. It's just these two. But that's still good though, because it means you get access to these two as well. You don't get access to Harry Mudd, which is kind of bizarre, but at least you can get him on the transporter patterns instead. But yeah, that's, like I say, this is going to be a very quick video. I just wanted to run this by just in case no one had, if you hadn't noticed, or you didn't know what to do when it comes to the transporter patterns and stuff like that. So hopefully this video was useful to you. If it was, don't forget to consider liking it. Don't forget to comment down below. Give me your suggestions and opinions to which officers you would go for first with regards to the transporter patterns. Because that's very interesting to me, and obviously other people that see the video, they might be interested in reading the comments and finding out what the best way what the best officers to go for are and what order to go for them. But yeah, so leave your comments down below. Other than that, I will see you for the stream tonight, which will be at 2100 UK time. Other than that, I will see everyone next time. Bye bye for now.